Hey guys, this is Joe and Vanessa. Today we are going to talk about caring.
Yes, and if you're like us and sometimes when you're wrapped up in the emotion, it's hard to care about anybody else, go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss any more content. Let's get into it. Welcome back to the Grace Family Love Podcast. We are back with you for episode number 55.
Yes. So today we're recording and it's tomorrow's Mother's Day.
Yes.
Tomorrow's Mother's Day. But we went to go see Joe's mom and we have kind of like a funny story. So we were over there and they were just like, just talking, you know, and his mom was making a joke that she was going to make him a shirt that said, number 1, I will care. Number 2, what was it? Number 2, I'm put on the calendar.
No, I think number 1 was acknowledge.
Oh, number 1 was acknowledge. Number 2 was care. Number 3 was put it on the calendar, because they were asking him to make a calendar because we're like always just booked. Like there's a lot of stuff going on, and we have a lot of family like just everywhere. So you know, people want to spend time with us. We're gonna go. You know, we're doing our camping trip, our annual camping trip, all that stuff. So my lovely husband has a good, I don't know what you can say, just like tendency of just being like, oh yeah, I can do it that day. Oh yeah, I can do it that day. Yeah, sure. And then, but he doesn't remember. He just says yes to everybody and yes to everything. And then later on, they're like, are you going to come anytime soon? You know, you're supposed to be here. So that's why they're kind of just making a joke. So today, that's what we're going to talk about. So I'll let him actually, you know, just talk a little bit about why that's the subject.
So my issue is, it's not that I don't care in a sense that I don't care about people I love, or I don't want to do nice things for people, or that I want to be a bad person. It's that I can't explain it, but like if somebody were to say, you know, we're gonna get together and we want to have this gathering and whatever, right? I think that's nice. I think that's a good thing. And I think the idea and the concept of being present and enjoying that is great. But I just generally, you know, I don't put it on a calendar and then I'm like, oh, I forgot, you know, and then it doesn't bother me.
But you know what? I kind of want to touch on that because I've heard more like wives complain about their husbands. Like they say, like they don't want to go anywhere. They don't want to go to family barbecues. They don't want to do this. They don't want to do that. All they want to do is just sleep or go home and take a nap. And like, I mean, I understand like when you come and you're like so tired. I mean, I understand you're like waking up early. Sometimes we'll do the podcast and he's up till like 2 a.m, like editing. And then he goes to work at what time? Like what time do you wake up?
Like 5:36.
You know, 5:30. And like, so I understand, you know, so I kind of give him that grace because I see how much he works. But I think that sometimes the wives don't really understand, or not that they understand, but they don't really care to kind of acknowledge that might just be a thing. You know what I mean? Not that you guys don't care per se, but it's just like, I don't know, like...
I feel like there's in regards to time, right? I think that it's a commodity that we can't get back. Okay. A lot of us don't really understand that, but when it's explained, it makes sense, right? You can never get more time back. It doesn't matter how much money you have. It doesn't matter how hard you try. You just don't get time back. Time is consistently and constantly moving forward. You know, whether we like it or not, time is moving forward. Yesterday is gone. And so we really have me personally, I should say, in general, I think men have this feeling of I have to be present for a lot of things. I have to be here. I have to go to work because I need to provide. My wife needs me, so I have to go and do this thing. You know, there's that to-do list that never ends around the house. So I have to do that thing. Yeah. You know, the kids need something, so I have to take them here. I have to be present there. I have to attend, you know, a teacher conference when that was a thing. Sporting events. I have to go and do this. So many I have to's that we always, and again, this is in general, but me personally, I feel like I have to be present.
Like you're on all the time?
For so many things that I have to be there. And it's not that it's outside of my control, but I feel like it's necessary, right? Work is necessary. What you need around the house or what you need me to do to support you is necessary. What the kids need is necessary. And so it's a form of sacrifice. I'm sacrificing what I want to do. I'm sacrificing my time for things that I believe are worth it. So when it comes time to, I don't have to be there, it's not an absolute dire need or necessity. It's easy for me to just say, like, if I make it, great.
Yeah.
If I don't make it, totally fine. I don't mind. It doesn't bother me because I have to be all these other places. Where's the time where I get to just say, I don't have to be anywhere. Therefore, I don't want to be anywhere.
Yeah.
Let me just be.
You know what I think? I think that the reason why there's not that much grace towards you guys is because I think that when you don't have the let me serve you attitude, then we think we're always on. We go everywhere. We have to do everything we don't want to do. We work and then we check out and then we check back in. Mm-hmm. And it never stops. You know what I mean? So it's never just kind of like, we just got to go. We got to keep going, keep going, keep going. So then I think that when you guys do that, I think it kind of sparks like a, probably to wives, like, why do you get to do that? Why do you get to check out and say like, oh, I don't want to, or I'm tired, not today. Yeah. So I think that in a sense, like the grace period and being able to understand each other. And I think that to know like, this is the way that you guys work and just be able to work with you guys. And then knowing that we can handle that, not that you guys can't handle it either, but we're kind of like made that way. I don't know if that makes sense.
In like, which way? Like can't chill?
Yeah, practically, like, and even when we are like relaxing, it's just like, we're not relaxing. We're already thinking of the next thing. Or, people are just like, I'm having sex and I have a to-do list in my mind. Like that's how sad it is, but it's true. So, I mean, you guys, you don't have to check out. Like you guys can just automatically do that. We can't, so I think that it's a little bit too, when you don't understand like, okay, we're made this way and you guys are made a different way, and just kind of have grace towards that and be able to, I don't know, just accept each other for however we are, know?
Yeah. I think that's a great concept, that if people would spend more time trying to understand their spouse, but seek self-improvement.
Yes.
That combination is, I mean, that's an amazing,
right there.
Winning combination. So if I'm trying to study my spouse, all the while trying to self-improve, like that means I'm going to earn points for being involved and being engaged in my relationship. And then for me trying to better myself, that's going to do a couple of things. One, it's going to put me on this never-ending pursuit to be a better husband, father, friend, right? But it's also going to allow me to grow and mature mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, to allow me to reach heights that I never thought I could reach. And all of those things are valuable tools to use in life. And why I thought this was important to bring up today is because, right, I don't see it all the time, but the words kind of start flying out of my mouth and it's like, dang, dude, like, where's the filter? You could have said that a little bit nicer. And I don't see it and I don't realize it until after it comes out. So when that happens, most of the time I'm like, it's already out. Can't take it back.
And he just chuckles. That's how I know that he knows, because he just does it like
shoot, I did it again. Right? Now why I think it's valuable is because if I just say that's me, that's who I am, which is a common phrase, right? And it doesn't matter if you're husband or wife, that phrase gets tossed around.
Oh, that makes my skin crawl when people say that.
That's who I am. Right? Yeah. Like take it or leave it. I was like this before we got married. So now that we're married, you knew what you were getting into. If you use language like that, you're automatically putting a cap on the ceiling of how far your marriage is going to reach as an individual and as a relationship. Mm-hmm. Because what you're saying is, I'm done growing. I'm not going to get any better than this. This is as good as it gets for you. And that, it doesn't matter if you apply that to your own life. It doesn't matter if that's work, education, or just your personal life in general. Imagine if you just all of a sudden were enclosed and you were never going to grow anymore. You're not going to learn another thing. You're not going to advance at work. You're not going to ever get a promotion again. You're just going to keep doing what you're doing, being who you are until the day you die. That is extremely depressing. That is extremely pessimistic, and that's just dark. That's a dark way to live your life.
Yeah. It's crazy because I was talking to one of my kids, and I say that it makes my skin crawl because, like, I literally, somebody asked me, like, are you really, like, positive? And, like, how could you describe that? Because a lot of the times people say, like, oh yeah, I'm a positive person, or I just try to look at the bright side or try to do this. But then when they're, like, off social media or off camera, they're, like, completely a different person. And then just Joe had been telling me, like, man, I appreciate that you're actually who you say you are. And it didn't, like, dawn on me and didn't make sense to me because I'm just like, well, why would I be different? Like, that doesn't make sense, you know, but it does happen. And the thing is that with me, I wasn't always like this. I was negative, and I made sure that I let you know, like, I'm a negative thinker because, like Joe said, like, that's how I am. That's who I am. So, and the sad part about it is that I was, like, almost, not that I was proud about it, but that I almost wore that like a badge. Like, I'm a negative person. You know what I mean? Like, I wish there was, like, an AA meeting where we can all sit and be like, I'm a negative person. And, you know, like, I wake up with a cloud every day and it rains on me. Like, because that was me, like, every day. And I felt so bad. I felt bad now because I remember just being so negative, and Joe's just, like, trying to stay above water. And he's just like, God, throw me a bone. Like, come on, you know, but I'm just like, it's not negative enough. You know, I wanted it to be more. So something bad had to happen, really bad. And it had to do with my health in order for me to pull out of it. And I told my son, like, there was many times where I could have just caved into that emotion and not come out. I go, by the grace of God, because he allowed me to use his word to transform my mind. Only then is when I was able to realize that there is growth to, like, happen, and that I need God to help me to get there, and allow God to show me the things that I needed growth on, and to kind of say, okay, God, just do what you got to do in me. Like, just do what you got to do. Was it fun? It was not fun, and it's still not fun. But the thing is about wanting to just grow and not have to go through the bad part in order for you to change. Don't wait till your wife says, I want a divorce because you don't love me right. I want a divorce because you're not there for me. I want a divorce because you're not a good father. And then you're like, no, wait. I think I could change. Like, just give me a minute. Like, no, like, don't wait for that. Look deep, do a research, allow God to tell you and kind of, I don't know, like, pull it out and say, okay, these are the things you need to work on. And like Joe said, you know, just acknowledge them. You know, you don't have to feel bad about it or play that victim role where you're just like, but this is me because all this stuff happened. Like, okay, it happened. Now where do we go from here? Like, what happened? Where do you want to go? You know, that's the next question. I was telling him that I told my son that I wanted him to work on his attitude. And he said, like, I can't do that. Like, it's kind of hard with this. And I said, okay, I'm going to take your Xbox. I'm going to take your phone. I'm going to take anything that has to do with Wi-Fi, and it's gone today. I'm going to collect it all. And I've never seen his eyes open so wide in his life, because I've never told him this ever. And he's like, wait a minute. He goes, that's not fair. And I'm like, well, I want to teach you that you can make a choice to grow and to be better in whatever this area that we're working on right now. So I said, the moment that I see you working on it, you can get one thing by one. And he's like, no, it's okay. I'll just work on it right now without you having to take anything away. I was like, cool. You don't need that hard lesson. Yeah. And I think that we're all like that. Like,
for sure.
You know what I mean? And I think that what's that saying that Pastor always says, that like wise people learn from other people's mistakes?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, like it's true, guys. Like, don't wait for something really bad to happen. Just learn it now, so that way you can have that life that you're just kind of like in need of, you know?
there are practices that you can do. It just depends on the level of maturity and the ability to have that conversation. Because you could even look within yourself and do some self-reflection and write down, what areas you think you need to work on. If you're next level mature or you really want to grow, then you can ask your spouse, what areas do you think I need to work on? And it's not
some guidelines though, because that's probably like.
Well, let me finish what I'm saying, right? Like there's no reason why you shouldn't be able to have a conversation with your spouse to be able to reveal what it is that people see, right? We can't live our life walking around, trying to be what everybody else wants us to be. So I'm talking about an intimate moment with your spouse, not you're terrible at this, you're horrible at that, but an opportunity to say, let's talk about communication, right? Could I be a better communicator? Yes or no? Okay, if yes, what's something that I could do that would help me to communicate better, right? Not you're terrible at this and I hate it when you do that and this annoys me when you do this. Like not that kind of nitpicking, but a true in-depth, introspective, analyzation of who you are so that you can use that to get to where you want to be. So I kind of had that moment, unexpectedly while I was with my family. And that one is I need to acknowledge that I have that problem, that sometimes I just don't care. And why that makes an impact on others is, for instance, when it comes to birthdays, when it comes to holidays, Vanessa is like, she'll make your birthday an all-out event, and she goes, she bends over backwards to make sure that that everybody else knows that it's your birthday, and everybody's gonna do everything possible to make you feel special on your special day. For me, I'm just like,
happy birthday.
It's actually just another day, And then in the beginning, it was a real like tooth and nail battle because it wasn't enough to celebrate the birthday. It had to be on the day. And so like if you didn't celebrate the birthday on the day, then it was like, forget it. Like, why even celebrate? It doesn't even matter anymore.
It was like ready divorce kind of fight style.
So I'm like, it's on a Wednesday. Like, can we just do it on a Saturday? We can have a barbecue. Forget it. Just forget I even mentioned it. And I'm like, man, this is crazy. Like, this doesn't even sound reasonable. Like, am I just going to take the day off just because when we can do it on Saturday?
And my answer was, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can.
That's what you do. And I'm like, wow. So the two extremes, right? Like, I'm like, it's just another day. It doesn't really matter. And she's like, this is when the world stops and everybody turn your face, and look at this person because it's their special day. And she does, she really works hard to make sure that they feel that way. And so that's how she makes them feel special. But really what she's saying is, look, everybody, because my birthday is going to come around one day and this is what I expect. Right. And so me personally, I don't like I see sometimes how the effort that she puts into things and it can stress her out. And I'm like, why do you even do that to yourself? Like, why?
Every mom's looking at you like, you don't understand.
I totally don't. I really don't. And so on my end, I'm like, oh, I don't want to put people through all that stress. So don't even worry about having a birthday party for me. I'm cool. Like, you don't even have to buy me anything. Like,
and he's serious, guys. Yeah, he's so serious.
Text me happy birthday. Facebook tells you you just hit the happy birthday emoji button and it just puts it all out there for you. It's 1 second. I'm cool with that. Like, it's all good. You don't even have to call me.
Oh my gosh.
And that's just the way I feel about it.
My cheeks hurt.
I just don't care. And so that doesn't mean that because I don't care the same way she does, that I have to force the way I am upon her. Because the goal is not, I don't need to change her.
Yeah.
And so if I think that I'm going to change her, then I'm already starting off on the wrong foot. Now I can influence her. And so I've influenced her now to where she's okay if we don't celebrate on the day. right? She's okay if we don't have to have this all out, thing. It depends on the circumstance. We struggled a little bit with this past birthday of hers because I still went to work, and she canceled plans because she thought I was going to take the day off. And so I'm like,
this is a real story, guys.
It's a real story, yeah. And so I'm like, going to work tomorrow.
Bye.
And she's like, oh, okay, never mind. Forget it. I canceled all my plans. I canceled all Pilates. I canceled everything because, I thought maybe you were going to take the day off or something. Surprise me. I don't know. Never mind. It's okay. I'm fine. And so, come on, guys. When she says, I'm fine.
Oh my God, I'm crying.
It's all bad, bro. So here I am.
do not sound like that.
Here I am driving to work, right? I'm like,
oh my
this
God.
is going to be all bad. So I get to work and I'm like, boss, it's my wife's birthday. And she's like, what are you even doing here? I'm not even joking. She was typing in a meeting and she goes, why are you even here right now? You need to go. Like right now. You better take your wife, do something.
Oh
you need to go right
That's
now.
Too funny.
And I'm like, hey, I'm sorry. I was just saying. And she goes, no, seriously, you need to go. And I was like, okay, thank you. And so I left. I did a half day. I came home. We went out to dinner, and it was nice. So now she's influencing me, whereas I would have just been like, it's another work day. Got to do what I got to do. So she influenced me.
So he did a half day.
Came home, right? I left work early so we could spend some time together. We went out to dinner. I influenced her where it was like, it was, maybe she wasn't fine, right? But we didn't have to have this all out, fight over what the plans were going to be. So we made it work with what we had. We're influencing each other. And so here's going back to that moment that I had to acknowledge the fact that I do have that problem. So for her, when that day is so important, or the idea of making somebody feel special on their birthday or on Mother's Day, I can't just assume that she's exaggerating. Oh, you're just making too much out of it. You're just making a big deal out of nothing. I can't do that because that's how she expresses love. So I have to be able to meet her where she's at, and we can, like I said, influence each other. Yeah. So my first step was acknowledging that I have that problem. And so the second step is I need to work on caring. And it doesn't mean that I just don't care, like I don't want you to know that you're special, or that I don't love you, or that I don't care about you.
Yeah.
But to care in a way that I could understand what that means to you, whether it's an event, an occasion, a day, something special to you. And so when I say I'm going to show that I care, it's understanding the way that she cares and trying to show some evidence that I'm going to care the way that she cares. And so perhaps now when I work on caring, whereas my birthday, I'm like, it's just another day. For her birthday, right, I got her a book, and it's called 50 Things I Love About You. And it's filled with kind of like some scripted text, and then it leaves blank spots. So it says, I love the way, and then it leaves it blank, and you can fill it in. And so things like that I know are meaningful to her. So I didn't tell her that I got it. I didn't tell her what I was doing, but I got a gift from the kids to her, a card. I got a gift from myself to her, a card. And so I filled it out myself, and it was, just 50 different scenarios. And I just only hoped that it would make her feel special. Whereas before, maybe like year one of marriage, I would have been like, that's so dumb. There's no way I'm doing that. Whereas now I want her to know that I love her. I want her to know that I care. And so I made the effort by doing that, filling out this book, and then leaving it for her by the bed with the card, when I went to work. So I know she was laying in bed. She was kind of half awake. She wasn't going to see it. And hopefully it was a nice surprise when she got up, right? So that's me working on trying to care and show that I care by using some of her techniques that she understands, her language. And then third, we joked around about having a calendar, but in all seriousness, in order for me to show that I care, is to show up. Right? I do have a tendency to say yes to everybody because I want to be helpful. I want to be present. I want to do good for others. But by saying yes to everything, now I'm overcommitting, and it's impossible to please everybody or be at every event or do everything. And so also being responsible by fulfilling my commitments. Because if I want to be a man of my word, and my word is who I am, and that's all that I've got, if I'm not going to follow through with my word, then who am I? So it goes deep, right? It goes pretty deep. And so that's my commitment. And I don't want anybody to say, this is who I am. Take it or leave it. You knew this about me before, we got married, or you knew this about me when we met. So this is it. And that just shuts the doors on all these wonderful things that you could be doing when you grow together, as you grow older, as the kids grow up and move on and move out. And then it's just you and your spouse. What relationship are you going to have to fall back on if there's nothing to look forward to? Nobody wants to be trapped with nothing to look forward to. Where's the hope at for tomorrow? Where's the hope for something, for growth, for a deeper love, for a new love, a refreshed, revitalized, passionate love? Like, if you don't have anything to look forward to, it's such a drag.
Yeah, guys. And I want you guys to remember, when God says, be renewed by, having your mind transformed. So if you don't have new information to transform what's already in your brain, you're not going to know how to do things better. So in order to care, you have to figure out how to care. So if you don't know how to do it, then you have to research it. You have to talk to people. You have to, a lot of the times I get a lot of women that say, like, my husband doesn't want to go to therapy. My husband doesn't want to go to counseling. Like, he doesn't want to do this. He doesn't want to do that. Like, husbands, if you're listening to this and your wife has asked you, just listen to what Joe was saying about you put a cap. Who else is going to teach you or show you or give you guidance? If somebody's a little bit steps ahead of you, they can help you and kind of throw you that rope to pull you out. But if you don't, then you're going to stay there and you're going to stay stuck. Yeah. And you can lose the most important things in your life because you say, this is the way I am and this is the way I'm going to stay. Yeah. So this week, I want you guys to really just pray about it and just say, you know what, God, like, I've been wanting to know, like, why am I in this situation? Why am I in this place? Why do I feel like I'm stuck? And if you are struggling with certain things emotionally, physically, mentally, just give it a moment. Talk to God and tell him, this week, show me. Highlight the areas that I need help in and the places I need to care. And open the doors and put the people in front of me to help me and guide me to help me to care and how to care. And third, show up. Do it.
Yeah. Good stuff.
That's it.
Yep. So we're here for you guys. We hope that was encouraging. There's so much good to come when we make the effort. And so if you're like me, let's just work on it, right? Let's acknowledge the issue. Let's just work on caring. And let's just show up, like she said. And I just imagine that wonderful things will come for you in your relationship.
Yes, they will, for sure.
Lord, thank you for just allowing me to go through this process. And I just hope that it would be an encouragement for others. I pray that for whoever's listening, Lord, that this would fall on hearts and ears that needed to hear this, and give them the encouragement and the strength and energy that they need to put in the effort to make sure that they know that there is a possibility for change. There is a hope for tomorrow, and this is not the end. Lord, I pray that you would just give them what they need as far as guidance, the support system, the proper people in their path to help them get to where they want to be. Lord, we just thank you. We love you and praise you. In Jesus' name we pray.
Amen.